The following interview is part of the USMC Vietnam Tanker Association History Project. The interview is being conducted at the VTA reunion in St. Louis, Missouri on September 24, 2017. The interviewees are members of the VTA and former combat Marines. The purpose of the History Project and these interviews is to capture the experiences of our veterans and make them available for all future generations. This is a special interview. It's about beach landings in 3 different wars and Marines going ashore.
Al Nelson Jr., 5th Marine Division, Tank Battalion, Iwo Jima, February 19th, 1945. Landed on Red Beach, 1.
Okay.
Edward Hoffman, 1st Marines, 1st Battalion, Korea.
Okay.
Joe Tyson, 3rd Marine Division, 3rd Tank Battalion, 3rd Platoon.
Okay. Great. What was your landing like?
Landing at?
Yep. Where did you land and what was it like going ashore?
Oh, we landed on the Red Beach in at the bottom Sarabashi, and H hour was 9 o'clock, and we landed at 9:15 on Red Beach 1.
Did you take any enemy fire? Any enemy fire?
Oh, absolutely. It was machine gun fire and mortar fire and bomb fire, yes. Yeah.
How about you?
I came in on a walker. We had to go down nets, get on a ship, and then land on land.
Okay. Any action when you hit the beach?
No, they were all up at the 38th parallel.
Okay.
We landed on the ships. Was the USS Vancouver, was an LPH. It was, we were designated the 9th Marine Expeditionary Brigade, which were the first Marines to go in during the buildup in March 8, 1965. For a landing, it took place around 1000.
Whereabouts was that? Da Nang?
It was Red Beach 2, Da Nang.
Okay. All right. What was your reception like on the beach?
Well, if I can step back to when we had breakfast aboard the ship,
Okay.
you know, they fed us steak and eggs. And all I could remember was all the books I read about the Pacific Wars, when the island hopping wars, when the Navy would feed the Marines steak and eggs before the landing. And all I could think of was, well, this isn't going to be that kind of landing, is it? And it wasn't. You know, the worst came a little bit later.
Yeah. Did you have steak and eggs the night before, the day before?
No. I even forget what we had for breakfast.
I don't know if I could have kept anything down at that point, knowing that we were going to go ashore. How about you, Al?
What was the question?
Did you have any special dinner before you went ashore?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. We had a good breakfast, steak and eggs and everything, yes.
That is a tradition, right? These were basically in 3 different war zones. Is that safe to say?
Absolutely.
Because Iwo Jima was the islands, and then of course you were in Korea as a foot soldier, or did you go in on tanks?
I went in, well, first when we landed, they just lined us up. I was an amphibious landing. I took training in it, but then they just lined us up and said infantry, artillery, tanks. So what your MOS meant didn't mean nothing. Then they loaded us on trains and sent us up to the 30th parallel.
Wow. How big was that contingent of American soldiers that went ashore? A couple of thousand?
Yeah, I think we had 600 or 700 came in on the ship, you know, but we went back with only 200.
Wow. Now, did anybody land with tanks in the tank carrying boats that would bring them in and drop the ramp and drive off? So these were all on foot landings?
Well, yes, we did, but we did have our tanks waterproofed, but we did get a little bit of water in them, not a lot, but we didn't have too much trouble getting off at all. Yeah.
Any trouble driving the tanks?
We came in on LSTs, so we had ramps to landed on, yes.
All right.
Yeah.
How about once you got ashore, was it all just beaches and things like that, or did you run into
Well,
heavy
it was
rocks?
kind of a hill going up in that black sand and that. We had some trouble with our tanks, but we got through it all right, and we landed and went straight ahead and went to the beaches at bottom of Suribachi.
Okay.
And we turned our guns toward the left and helped support the infantry platoon when they went to the top of the mountain
Right.
with our big guns. Yeah.
It sounds like that you ran into interference right away, or
Yeah.
response right away, and then you guys were trucked up or trained up.
Trained
to,
up.
to the parallel.
Well, we had to stop and they had to discontinue so many cars, pull so many over the mountain, then go back and get the other bunch and pull that over the mountain. Then we went up the rest of the way.
Now, you obviously had ammo going in. Did you have ammunition and so forth when you went in, or did they give you that when you got up to the?
Well, when we got up there, they were all set up.
No, I think Bruce was telling me you saw a whole bunch of the bad guys coming down the road.
No, like I said, it's all up to 30th parallel. The only
Okay.
time we really had bad news is when they decided to push about 30,000 men against whatever number of men we had left on the line.
And these were not all North Korean soldiers, were they?
No, they were Chinese.
Yeah.
We had pushed North Korea out,
Right.
and then Red China pushed in, and that's where they ended up with 160,000, 300,000 men charging you all the time.
Yeah. But Joe, you probably ran into VC, or were you running into NDA?
What?
Well, you had a lot of.
Well, when we landed,
Korea, you had them
from
charging in Korea.
the LSU, of course, the LPH had helicopters on a lot of the Brigade of Infantry, which were from 3-9, came in on helicopters, and also Amtraks, which came out of the belly of the ship with us, you know. The LSU I was on had 2 tanks, had the platoon sergeant's tank in front of mine, and we beached first with the low tide, which was a very easy landing. It was like a golden ring landing, we called it. Yeah. And then he was the first tank to land for the buildup from 3rd Platoon. I was the second tank. And we pulled down the beach maybe 100 yards, and we had to wait for the other 3 tanks from our platoon to land, which didn't land till later that afternoon with the high tide, and they had a pretty difficult time with the depths of the water, you know, getting in. But we finally all made it together, joined together. We had no ammunition because we couldn't have ammunition loaded on the tanks aboard ship. So we had to wait till the next day, you know, for the trucks to bring our ammunition up to us.
Did you expect any resistance going in?
Not really,
Yeah.
but you know, you never know.
Yeah.
There was, you know, one escort, a destroyer escort, which was like just floating around us. And there was some Phantom jets flying occasionally up and down the beach, but no gunfire. No. I don't know what we would have hit back with. You know, we'd have
That would be it'd be kind of scary. You come in, you got a tank, but you don't have any ammo. Wow.
But as it went on, you know, after like about a month, it just got worse and worse and worse every day, every day. Our company lost, I believe it was 11 tanks in 11 months.
Wow.
And we spent all our time with line company infantry, you know, for almost 17 straight months.
Yeah. Now,
2 involuntary extensions.
Yeah. Where did you sail out of to get to Iwo Jima? Was it Philippines?
Hawaii.
Hawaii?
Yeah.
How long were you on ship before you?
We did our training at Camp Tarawa in Hawaii. Yeah.
Okay. Was it a 4 or 5 day trip before you started island hopping and going ashore?
I don't really remember that at the present time. It took quite a while, yes, yeah. I remember that, but I can't remember
Did you
how
get
long
seasick
it
at all?
was. There's a lot of stuff to remember, you know.
Oh, yeah. Anybody get seasick on the trip too?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Took us 21 days.
Oh, my gosh. That's a long time.
Did you
Yeah.
get seasick?
Going over I didn't. Coming back I did.
Yeah.
I never
Well,
got, I never got seasick.
Really?
I
Even,
almost
I was on 10 different amphibious ships, and I even went through a hurricane on one coming back from Spain to North Carolina, back to Lejeune, and
Yeah. It's rough.
never got sick.
Now, going into Vietnam, did you come out of Okinawa?
Came out of Okinawa, White Beach. We uploaded. It was a night upload operation, which I had never done before.
Yeah.
They just had big lights set up on the beach, and that went pretty smooth. And then once we got the tanks, all dogged down with chains inside, the LSUs, we went to chow. And by the time we were done chow, I could tell by the movement of the ship that we were, heading out to the Philippines. We were out of Buckner Bay and heading into the Philippines Sea south.
How long did it take you to get to Vietnam?
It was 3 or 4 days. Yeah. Big difference in temperature between Okinawa and Vietnam, though.
Cooler to warmer?
Nice weather to atrocious heat.
Yeah. There was no good weather in Vietnam that I can remember.
No.
Any special stories about your landings? Anything exciting, Al, that that especially stands out in your mind about going ashore and
Well,
what you ran
yeah,
into?
they had just formed the 5th Marine Division, and that was their first operation, of course. And most of all of us guys were 17 and 18, 19 years old and never been away from home. And we saw a lot of carnage on the beach when we went in, and it was pretty drastic because we saw guys with their legs blown off and their arms blown off and things like that, and different things. And it was a little hard to take at first, but
Yeah.
once we got used to it, it was a little bit better. But the beach was the hardest part, I thought, just getting when we first went in.
Right.
First seeing it, because it was something new we'd never seen before.
Yeah. Did you train on beach landings in the States or were in Hawaii?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we had to. Yeah. What we did, when we landed, we went straight across the island. Our tanks did, and then we turned our tanks toward Suribachi and supported the first platoon that went up on the island. There's 26 Marines that went up to top of the mountain. And we supported them with our 75 millimeter guns,
What tank? What M48As? What tank were you in, or what?
They were Shermans.
They're Shermans.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
How about you?
M46s.
So, of course, you were 48s.
48A3.
Yeah.
A3s. Yeah. Amazing. I mean, I just can't imagine going ashore. Just going down the ropes.
We just had some M4s too, but they were retrievers.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anything special in your mind stand out about the landing other than you're happy
No,
that you made
the
it?
landing was not bad because we just come in and unloaded and then there was nothing there for us to worry about because it was back in 1951 was when all that real rough stuff was going
And when
on.
did you go ashore? What year?
52,
Okay.
September 52,
Yeah.
and it was raining for
Oh.
40 days.
So you probably went through a winter or two. Did you go through the cold winter?
Don't even talk about that.
Okay, good. I didn't- I saw the cover of the book that was up there.
I got goose pimples from it.
Where were you from when you were 17 and first went in? Were you from the South? or-
I was 18, I enlisted. I worked on farms. I didn't even know there was a war on when I enlisted.
Wow.
When I come out of boot camp, I said, well, I think I'd done something wrong. And then when I hit Korea, I said to myself, I definitely done something wrong.
I think everybody felt that same way, that when they went in and they found out what it was, they thought they'd done something wrong or something. I
Yeah,
think
but-
most everybody that goes into the Marine Corps feels the same way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When did you go into? How old were you?
I was 17 when I joined. I was 63. Parents had a
Had you
sign.
signed? Yeah.
Yeah, and I was just 19 when I landed in Vietnam.
Yeah. Where'd you go through training?
Paris Island,
Paris Island.
and then Camp Lejeune,
Yep.
2nd Tank Battalion there.
Did you guys go through Paris Island or San Diego?
I was a Hollywood Marine.
That's why you know all those Hollywood people.
Right.
I was Paris Island. Then they flew us out of Paris Island right straight to California.
Uh,
That's what they called us, Hollywood Marines.
oh, I know it. I know it. Well, you lived up to it. I ain't gonna tell you guys. He's got a photo album of these
Yeah.
movie stars he knew, and he's. Who was the young lady you were kissing?
Huh?
The young lady that you were kissing, the actress. Who was that?
Stella Stevens.
Stella Stevens. Boy, I
Yeah.
had a crush on her.
I kissed her 3 other ones too, but she was the biggest one.
We saw the picture of her. So he was a Hollywood Marine in the truest sense of the word.
I spent my 19th birthday in Korea, and Christmas time they put up a big display telling the GIs to go home. Your wives are up with other men, and your children are looking for you, and all that stuff.
Psychological warfare.
It was something like that. A Japanese woman that advertised all different things, telling the GIs to go home.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Hollywood Marine.
Lucky him.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, they used to them sunglasses too.
Yeah. Anything else you want to share? Because this is fascinating. Just all of what you went through, 17 years of age, going in and basically deciding what you're going to do for the rest of your life, because you're never going to have to do that again. You know, it's all downhill from there. But would you trade it for anything that at that age, would you have done anything different?
No, I wouldn't. I should have been 25 years in, and I wouldn't trade any of it for what I did and everything. I've done a lot of things since then, and I've spoke at a lot of rotaries and places, Lions clubs and different things, and churches and stuff to Iwo Jima, and I've got a whole book about that big thank you cards and things like that for what I've done. Yes.
That's great. That's the way it should be. Do you want to add to that?
Well, nobody met us when we came back,
Korea, that's right.
right?
Yeah.
They didn't even know it was a war.
Yeah.
And all them guys that died for nothing.
That's a shame. It's similar to the reception that we got.
No reception.
Yeah, there was no reception.
Protesters.
Protests.
Yeah, they were protesting these guys.
Yeah. Well, you guys are a model of what we ought to have in this country. If anybody watches this video and can carry on with the same types of attitudes you did at 17 years of age and through your military careers, and now you've obviously been successful in life and you're joining us here, we really appreciate all that you did. And this should be inspirational. That you can really do
Can
well.
I say one more thing? In the state of Iowa, where I come from, where I'm living at the present time, they feel that I'm the only living Marine left up there that has 3 wars under his belt: Iwo Jima, Korea, and Vietnam. And we have a couple senators now that's looking into it for sure. And so they say I'm a vanishing icon. I don't like that vanishing.
No, icon's good. Vanishing.
but that's what they say, so I don't know.
That's good. That's good to recognize that.
Yeah.
And we recognize it in all that you've done, and God bless you, and thank you very much for everything. Anything to add before we wrap it up?
Well, I like to say, when we landed there, we really didn't know what to expect. We were trained for conventional warfare, and what it turned into, or what we found out, it was an insurgency. And it didn't take long for me to see that this was going to go downhill fast, which it did. And for what those, it had nothing to do with how those young Marines acted and did their job. Our job in tanks were to support the line companies, and we did that.
Right.
We had, the 3rd Platoon had 2 involuntary extensions there, 2 over 17 straight months with line companies. No R&R, no breaks, no China Beach, no nothing.
Yeah.
But they were the greatest warriors I ever fought. I was so proud to be with them.
Well said. Very well said.
And you can read a lot more in my book that just came out, if anybody's
What is the name of your book?
Unfortunate Sons. Available through Friesen Press, their bookstore.
Excellent.
It's not a documentary, it's a story. A lot of dialogue. Want to put the reader right there with everything that happened. The heat, the bugs, the bullets, the blood, and the beer.
Yeah. That's great. That is good. I'm glad you put it in print. Too many of us.
It's over 500 pages, and it's exactly the way I saw it. It's not politically correct. It's PG. If I took all that out, it wouldn't have been the way it was.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you, and thank all 3 of you for doing this. And appreciate
Thank you.
it. And you know, be proud. Always be proud of what you've done and what you've accomplished.